Kashmir TV in Pakistan, national news. We are national news in Iran. We are national news in America. Alhamdulillah, there's various kiswa here. I'm going to go through a small walkthrough because there's a lot of pieces. So I'm going to give you a brief kiswa walkthrough. But first, I need to do salam to this Maulana. I've known him for a long time, inshallah. How are you? Good, good. Jazakallah for coming. Let me go to a walkthrough with you guys, all of you. So, the first thing that you see is the kandil, which is on the left hand side. What is a kandil? What does kandil mean? Kandil means lantern. Also, it means jellyfish in Arabic. Why? Because of the design. The design in English language is an ornate design. And on the design itself, we've got 3 Asma'ul Husna and 2 Quranic ayats. The 3 Asma'ul Husna is Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, Ya Rahman Ya Rahim, and Allahu Akbar. And then the 2 Quranic ayats that you have is Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen and Allahu Nur Samawati wal Ard. Why is it black kiswa with gold embroidery? Because this is from the current Saudi kiswa that was manufactured in Saudi Arabia in umrah kiswa factory, which is approximately 30 kilometers outside of Mecca. But the kiswa has changed from various colors over the years, from the beginning to the end. The first kiswa that was brought to the Kaaba was a plain animal skin, very, very basic. And I'm talking, this is pre-Islam, this is pre-King Tuba. King Tuba is one of the first confirmed kiswa tradition that you will find in the history books. His name was actually King Tuba Abu Sa'ad Khalab al-Himyari. He's from the Himyarite tribe. And he was a non-Muslim who brought the kiswa on the Holy Kaaba. And after this, you had Hussein ibn Hira, who was the 4th ancestor of Rasulullah who put the kiswa on the Holy Kaaba. And after Hussein, he was Quraysh who did it. After that, Rasulullah put a kiswa on the Kaaba called the white kiswa from Yemen called Al-Kitab. And after that, the Khalifa Rashid did it. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, Umar radiallahu anhu, Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, and Ali radiallahu anhu, Ibn Talib radiallahu anhu. And each Khalifa Rashidu, when he introduced the kiswa to the Kaaba, like during his reign, certain things were implemented and certain things were added and certain things were subtracted. For example, at the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, 2 things happened that never happened before. One was that for the first time in history, Egyptian linen was introduced to the kiswa. Wahid, Ibn. Second was that Umar radiallahu anhu, he ordered the Muslim to take down the kiswa, cut it up into pieces and distribute it amongst the Muslims around Makkah for barakah and blessing, of course. After that, Uthman ibn Affan had another change in the kiswa during his reign, and one of the main changes that he had was that there was 2 kiswa that were brought to the Kaaba every year. One was in the Dhul Hijjah season, and the second one was in Rajab, one of the sacred months. Brothers, can you please come in? I'm gonna try walking and not be static when I'm talking, inshallah, so others can benefit as well. But please keep walking, inshallah. Please keep walking. What you see in front of me right now, this is a Samadhi kiswa. Okay? Samadhi kiswa comes from the Arabic term as-Samadiyya. As-Samadiyya, the Samadhi, there's 4 pieces on the Holy Kaaba. Every corner of the Kaaba, whether it's the Hajj Aswad corner, or whether it's the Iraqi corner, or the Sham corner, or the Syrian corner, these Samadhi pieces are in each corner. And the Samadhi has the Quranic Surah Ikhlas on there. This Samadhi is from the Hijri year 901. Today's date is 1446 Hijri. That gives you a difference of approximately 545 years old. This Samadhi was made by the Abbasid Empire in Baghdad. When, before this, Arabic eloquence calligraphy was all Kufic, which is more angular and rigid calligraphy. But mashallah, we've got Churud Arabic calligraphy, which is originated from Abbasid Empire. And during this empire, the reason why it originated is because they realized that Churud Arabic, the word Churud comes from Talaka, which means 3. Meaning a third of the letter, it flows, it has a fluidity effect. The letters have proportional movement between each other and it has eloquence. Hence why Urdu Arabic is now used in modern architecture. You got Topkapi Museum which is Urdu Arabic. All your fancy manuscripts and your books that are written are all in Urdu Arabic. All your designs that you have to give in Arabic calligraphy is called Urdu Arabic. So this piece is 545 years old. But compare this piece to the samadhi of the current Saudi regime, which is on that side, black and gold. This is black, yellow, red. It looks dark navy because when you put something on the kaba for a long period of time, it's going to get bleached by the sun. The radiant sun is very hot. So no matter how the kiswa was made then, and how it was dyed, and how it protected, 545 years is a long time for anything. And it has lasted the test of time. We advise individuals not to touch the kiswa, not because we don't want you to touch it, not because of that. But history has to, they have to preserve it. Kiswa is supposed to be put in special conditions where humidity is maintained, temperature is maintained, airflow is maintained. Because if these conditions are not maintained, you're going to get the wear and tear. If we are going to establish a museum in Jewsbury, inshallah, we have to make sure that all of these kiswa survives the test of time. And mashallah, every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we are doing events for the kiswa up and down the country. But guys, what's important here? Those of you who are on social media, your message can go far and wide. Spread the word on TikTok. Spread the word on Instagram and Facebook. The young generation of today can spread this message far and wide. And we do need the help. We do need the help. This is preserving Islamic history. You know, there's one thing learning knowledge from syllabuses and books, and there's one thing learning knowledge from physical artifacts. And that's what's in front of you today. Alhamdulillah. So, the material that's used on this samadhi kiswa is silk. However, there was also linen introduced, incorporated with a backing. The backing to increase textile strength, to make sure, you know the kaba obviously is made of bricks, right? It's in stone. Any fabric that touches stone, wear and tear, is going to rip the metal, it's going to rip the silk, it's going to rip the linen. So the lining is given to each kiswa to create protection, to give it that shelf life that it needs. But this kiswa do not have hold on it. Some of the pieces that you see, the black and gold roll that you see, and various other kiswa, this is real gold, 22 karat gold. So alhamdulillah, in this room, there's a lot of money. Allah protects it. Okay, because it's very good. This is especially, yes, real gold. And from the current Saudi regime, 1441 Hijri. Today's Tariq is 1446. This was 5 years old. This was on the Holy Kaaba. If you went to Umrah 5 years ago, Hajj 5 years ago, these would have been on the Kaaba, you would have gone past it. When you did the Tawaf, you would have gone past it. Yeah? Every year they change. But on that year, it was on the Kaaba. So what I'm saying is, if you went to Umrah or Hajj that year, you would have gone past that. But on every kiswa, there are 3 things I need to look out for. One is the person who made it, Abdul Rahim Amin. Second, the Hijriya. Third, the origin. This shows you that this is genuine. First thing. Number 2, were you there? Alhamdulillah. If you were there, the thing is, right, even though you were there, it's very hard to see. I'll give you an example. You know the example that I put on the top of this top, which is 45 meters, right? Long. That's roughly 10 meters ground level, 10 meters. And we a new system, we're very touching 2 meters. So we have to look 6 meters up or 8 meters up, that's the mission. After that certain December, the second line which has the candles, you have 2 of these on each side. This is the smallest hijab. You have one of them, you have a candle, you have another one. Meaning, again, it's still again 6 meters above the ground. For you to ever see a close, it's hard. Especially when you have people trying to push you around the Kaaba, it's very hard to get near the Kaaba. Imagine when you near the Kaaba. But now you can't actually say that I see the kiswa in person. Nobody, it's so difficult and so rare for you to get this close in the Kaaba. Look how close you are to a place which is 545 years old. And we want to give this opportunity to the whole world. When we create this first music in June, inshallah, people will be this close to it, inshallah. We have the correct facility resolved in place and security and condition in place that will protect it. And then try to read about the history. If you're learning about Abbasid Empire or Umayyad Empire, this one, brass and copper. But this is gold and silver. However, the Ottoman version is copper and brass. So each empire added their own little twist, a little ornate design. 545 years. Allahu Akbar. After you, but you're going to Anyway, let's move on. Let me show you the example.
That's from Birmingham.
So, this is an Ottoman era hizam belt. The hizam basically means belt in Arabic. Belt meaning the belt that runs across the Kaaba at the top of the Kaaba, which is approximately 45 meters long. This is one side of the Kaaba. And on this, because it's Ottoman era, 1231 Hijri, approximately 215 years old, I think. It's got 4 ayahs of Surah Al-Imran in there. And when it comes to hizam belt of the Kaaba, you have 4 ayahs of the Quran on each side. 4 ayahs of Surah Baqarah, 4 ayahs of Surah Baqarah on the second side, 4 ayahs of Surah Hajj, and 4 ayahs of Surah Al-Imran. All to do with Allah's house, all to do with the sacrifice Ibrahim Salam and Ismail Salam made, and all to do with Allah Himself. These ayahs are very powerful ayahs in the Quran, but all to do with Hajj and the house of Allah. So the whole kiswa, all the pieces, takes a whole year. On the day of Arafah, it gets changed. So you know when you come back from day of Arafah and you're going to do your final tawaf, when you come back, on the day of Eid basically, you will see them changing the kiswa. So the old kiswa there already, and what they do is they put the new kiswa at the top, and they've obviously got ropes and stuff. They've got a whole assembly process. They've got cranes and over like 50 technicians, from engineers, from embroidery specialists, for people who can see further ideas, you know. They have foresight, they're good at measurements and mathematicians. And they have a massive group, and it goes to the Saudi mission, and they have the king of Saudi and the king of the Haram of Medina, and they all get together, they have a big ceremony, and then they drop down the new kiswa and the old kiswa and take it. Meaning, you never see the new kiswa. It's always happened. You know what I'm saying? The old is there, the new is going to get controlled. So for example, if I take my top off now, okay, I will just put on top, then take this off. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just take it off, then put something else on top. So, alhamdulillah, because Muslims understand one thing, sanctity of the Kaaba is a very important thing for Muslims. We love Allah.